Hey friends, this is a fun day. Team mail and recognition ideas. So like we mentioned yesterday, what gets recognized and rewarded gets repeated. So if you are only ever telling people how bad they're doing or constantly wanting them to live up to expectations of yours, by communicating that with them, they're going to continue doing the bad stuff. I know that sounds completely crazy, but it's so true. Just like if you entertain conversations with people that are negative, they're going to continue to bring you their negative conversations. If you continue to listen to drama and entertain it, you're going to continue to get more of it. But what gets rewarded gets repeated. And it's the same in positive behaviors, positive reinforcement of things that you do want to keep happening. So finding ways to recognize your team for the things that they're doing. So you guys know that this is not a huge, strong suit for me, but that doesn't mean I don't understand the importance of it. So it's a personal growth journey, right? I personally believe that sending things in the mail is probably one of the most important things to do, even though I'm not that great at it. Some of the teams I know that are larger and have a healthy growth pattern and have really good retention are the ones where they get mail recognition. And so I do know it's extremely important. However, I do also know, and we will talk tomorrow about some of this, is that we don't always have a lot of money as we are starting our leadership journeys, and we're not always there yet to the point where we can sustain a mailing system that takes a toll on our pocketbook, right? We do need to commit to putting money back into our businesses though. So if it's really just a frugal thing where you don't like to spend money on anything that's not catalogs and order forms, you do need to start revisiting how you're spending money in your business, and don't think that team mail is not a beneficial thing to do that on. It's a write-off, so go for it. But maybe it's about finding things that you can mail within your budget. Postcards are the cheapest thing to mail. Trying to get everything you can in an envelope with only one stamp, another really good tactic. So I want you guys to think about today, what were some of your favorite things that you've received in the mail? If you've received things in the mail. I know everybody knows I didn't really have an upline, so I never received things and recognition of any sort. I was a very self-motivated person because I had goals and I wanted to make them happen, and I didn't really need someone to compliment me to make me keep going. However, that's not always true for everyone. And a lot of times the expectation when they do have an active and committed sponsor, the expectation there is that they are noticed, right? Whereas I didn't need any of that because I didn't expect any of it because it wasn't going to happen anyway. Does that make sense? Whereas we are very attentive people and we love our teams and we take really good care of them. The expectation might be kind of there for us to do recognition in some way. And it's not a bad expectation. I think it's healthy, and I think that it needs to happen in some way. So there's several different ways that you can recognize and reward and incentivize your team. Mail-wise, I think it's really important to pick what you want to send out that is going to be reasonable as your team grows. So if you send out like top percentage of people, like I was doing top 20% for a while, but then our team grew to the point where that ended up being almost 80 postcards a month or 80 mailings a month, when if I would have just done 10%, it was 40, right? It was much more manageable. And then I realized if I have 2,000 people on my team, that's still 200 postcards I have to send out. So learning if that's manageable for you, or do you just want to do top 50? Or do you just want to do top 10 people, right? Or you only mail to top 10 and then you post on the walls of the other 60. It sounds like a lot of work as well. But right now is the time to start thinking about what you want to do to make sure people understand they're appreciated. Ways in which you know that you can pull up the proper numbers for. So if you don't know how to run reports on certain things, and that might be needed for certain mail items, you want to start considering learning to find out how to run those reports easily, or if there's even a report for it, if it's something that you were wanting to recognize, and how long that might take you to do. So start thinking about the ways that you want to do that. A lot of you are already really good at doing these kinds of things. Do you want to recognize monthly? Do you want to recognize quarterly? Do you just want to send thinking of you notes instead of recognition notes? There's a lot of different things you can do to just make sure that people understand, hey, I see you. I noticed what you're doing, and I appreciate your contribution, and finding ways to make sure that you're doing that in some way. And like I said, this is not a strong area for me. I am not a very emotional, vulnerable, notice thingsable person. It's just not my strong suit yet. Still working on it. And everybody knows I'm working on it. It's almost a joke now. But I'm working on it. But you guys have the opportunity to do better than me, which is awesome. I always wanted someone to come up and kick my booty, right? So finding ways that you can recognize your team within your budget and often enough to where they understand how much you appreciate them is really important. Being active in your team page is another good way to help people see that you're in it and that you're ready for everything. But team mail, I think, is very important. So we need to think about ways that you want to recognize your team. Some of my favorite ways so far, I like to send to anyone that joins our team, not my group. So if they are under a different director, I don't send them this. This is only for anyone my team recruits or new people. But when I send them, I like to send these little packets. This is a magnet from Vistaprint, and it says like, welcome to the team. It's got important contacts like consultant support. It's got my email address, and it has information about Jammy Time on Thursdays. So it has that in there, and then it's got a couple of our team stickers, which I got a bunch of these printed at uprinting.com. And then I have this little cute card that I literally had like 1,000 printed in my first year of business, and I just literally have tons. But it says, think about it, who's your best friend? Would you love to travel together, share success? Ask them to join you on your Cincy journey. Share this blessing with your bestie. And I send this to them when they join, because literally get your best friend to join you, right? And then confetti. I love confetti, glitter mail. The most effective mail has glitter and confetti in it. So I like to send those. I like to send mail to people when they recruit. It's a little packet of seeds, wildflowers, and it says, commit random acts of kindness and senseless acts of beauty. And those I got at AmericanSeeds.com or something. There's like a seed place, and they have tons of little packets of seeds that are not expensive that have some cute sayings on them once in a while. And then it says way to grow, and it has the starfish story. And it's about that somebody was walking along. I'm going to read it to you because I think it's so cute. One day, an old man was walking down the beach just before dawn. In the distance, he saw a young man picking up stranded starfish and throwing them back into the sea. As the old man approached the young man, he asked, "Why do you spend so much energy doing what seems to be a waste of time?" The young man explained that the stranded starfish would die if left in the morning sun. The old man exclaimed, "But there must be thousands of starfish. How can your efforts make any difference?" The young man looked down at the starfish in his hand, and he threw it safely into the sea. And he said, "It makes a difference to this one." So just thousands and thousands of people and all that kind of stuff. How are we possibly making a difference? And we're doing it one starfish at a time. I love that one. So that's another good idea for recognition. And then other things like, I don't think I have them here. I had them here and then I put them away. Yeah, so like top 100 golden ticket, not top 100, oh my gosh, top 10 golden tickets, so the top 10 people in our group. And then I try to do rock star ones of my team. So I stopped doing group because I stopped doing group recognition for the percentage postcards. I actually started just doing team recognition. So I do top 10 out of our whole group, which is like currently like 700 some people. But my team is always around 200 because if it gets over 200 people on my team, I usually know I've got a director about to pop out. So every time that happens, my team shrinks back down to just below 200 or right above 200. So that's always been my happy number for my team. If it shrinks too low, I know I've got a lot of work to do to be developing leaders. If it goes too far above, I know that I've got somebody about to pop out. So I do my percentage mail based on my team, because that I've kind of figured out, right? So, but just think of different ways that you can recognize your team. There's a million different other ways you could do it. You could send mail to everyone who had over 500 that month, or you could post it on your wall. One thing I used to do before I did postcards is I used to make videos. So every month I did like everyone who had over 500 PRV, everyone who had over 1,000 with their little picture and their name, using my phone. So just do something for recognition in some way, in any way. If you're not doing something right now, find a way to start rewarding the behaviors you want repeated. So I want to hear below, what are you going to do if you're not doing anything already? What have you been doing that's working really well for you? What are some things that you might stop doing because they're not really working? Or what are some things you think you're going to try doing? Even if you already think you're doing a pretty good job, what are some things you might add? And then tomorrow we're going to talk about budgeting a little bit. I'm a little nervous about that, but I think we're going to do it. We're going to talk about finances, budgeting, taxes, all that kind of stuff. Non-legal, #disclaimer kinds of advice, but we're going to do it. So talk below about your recognition style, what kinds of responses you've gotten, and when you know that recognition, if you have been doing recognition, I want to hear stories about how it actually made a difference. Times where a team member came to you and they couldn't believe that you noticed, or it really made their day to receive your mail. I want to hear about those stories too. So just another day where we're just having conversations, share ideas. If you have postcards you send your team that you don't mind sharing, could you post those below too? That would be super helpful and kind. Give more than you take. Generosity, core value, right? So yeah, let me know what you guys are already doing for recognition. I'm missing syllables. What you might start doing, what you might stop doing, and just spill it all below. Bye guys.